At 16:30 hours, the logistics convoy begins movement. 80 trucks, 4 vehicle types, 30 fuel tankers carrying 200,000 gallons of diesel, 25 ammunition carriers with artillery shells, missiles, small arms rounds, 15 parts transports loaded with tank engines, electronics, weapon systems, 10 medical supply vehicles carrying field hospital equipment, pharmaceuticals, surgical supplies. Total cargo value, $45 million. Destination: forward operating bases 120 miles northeast. Current position: main supply depot. Route: Highway 7 through contested territory. Security: 12 armored vehicles with anti-aircraft systems, 4 reconnaissance drones flying overwatch. Standard convoy doctrine. This is combat power. The convoy commander reviews the intelligence brief. Enemy activity in the region: moderate. Air threats: minimal. Ground threats: partisan units possible. Assessment: acceptable risk. The convoy departs at 16:45. Formation is standard. Armored vehicles on flanks. High-value targets in center. Spacing: 50 meters between trucks. Speed: 45 miles per hour. That's the maximum for loaded fuel tankers. The route will take 2 hours, 40 minutes. At 17:15, the reconnaissance drones detect movement. Location: 40 miles northwest of the convoy route. Initial assessment: enemy launch activity. The drone sensors identify the signatures. Small UAVs. Estimated count: minimum 200. Size: medium-class kamikaze drones. Each weighs approximately 40 pounds. Warhead: 15 pounds of high explosive. Cost per unit: $15,000. Total attack cost: $3 million. Against a $45 million target. The return on investment for the enemy: 1,500% if successful. At 17:18, the convoy commander receives the threat assessment. Enemy drones will reach intercept position in 45 minutes. Current convoy position: 25 miles from depot. Distance to destination: 95 miles remaining. The drones are faster than the convoy. Top speed: 80 miles per hour versus 45 miles per hour. Once the drones commit to attack, the convoy cannot outrun them. The commander has 4 options. Option 1: alter route. Add 35 miles through secondary roads. Increases travel time by 6 hours. But intelligence on alternate routes is limited. The enemy may have positioned additional drone units to cover multiple approaches. Changing routes might drive directly into a worse ambush. Option 2: disperse. Each truck takes independent routing. 80 different paths to the same destination. This spreads the targets, makes mass attack impossible. But it also spreads the security. 12 armored vehicles cannot protect 80 dispersed trucks. Some will have no protection. Those become easy targets. Option 3: stop and wait for air support. Request fighter coverage. F-16s can suppress the drone launch site. ETA for air support: 90 minutes. But the drones attack in 45 minutes. Stopping makes the convoy a stationary target. Easier to find. Easier to hit. Option 4: continue at maximum speed. Trust the anti-aircraft systems. 12 vehicles with point defense weapons. Each system can engage multiple targets. Hope the defenses are sufficient. Which force takes first? A. Air defense. B. Naval Group C. Command network. At 17:20, the commander chooses option 4 with modifications. Continue movement. Increase spacing to 100 meters. Reduces density. Makes saturation attack less effective. Deploy additional reconnaissance drones. Get real-time tracking on the incoming threat. Request air support, but don't wait for it. The convoy accelerates slightly. The fuel tankers strain. 48 miles per hour. 3 miles per hour above recommended maximum. The risk is acceptable compared to the alternative. At 17:25, the reconnaissance drones update the threat assessment. Enemy drone count revised. 280 units, not 200. The launch site is still active. More drones are taking off. The enemy is committing their entire available force. This is a strategic strike, not a harassment action. At 1730, the convoy's anti-aircraft systems go to full alert. 12 systems, 2 types. 8 are autocannon platforms, 20 mm guns. Rate of fire, 1,000 rounds per minute. Effective range, 1.5 miles. 4 are missile systems, surface-to-air missiles designed for helicopters and slow aircraft, also effective against large drones. Each system carries 8 missiles, total 32 missiles. Against 280 drones, that's 1 missile per 8.75 targets. Insufficient. The primary defense will be the autocannons. At 1735, intelligence provides updated enemy drone specifications. These are not simple kamikaze drones. They're loitering munitions. They can orbit, select targets, coordinate attacks. Each drone has optical and infrared sensors. They can identify vehicle types, fuel tankers versus ammunition trucks versus supply vehicles. They'll prioritize high-value targets. The AI coordination means they'll attack simultaneously from multiple directions, overwhelm defenses through saturation. At 1740, the convoy reaches Highway 7's open section. Flat terrain, minimal cover, visibility 10 miles. This is both advantage and disadvantage. The anti-aircraft systems have clear fields of fire, but the convoy is completely exposed. No terrain to hide behind, no buildings to break up targeting. At 1745, the drones appear on radar. Range 22 miles, altitude 500 feet, speed 75 miles per hour. Formation, wide dispersal. They're not flying in a tight swarm. They're spread across a 5-mile front. This complicates defense. The convoy cannot concentrate fire. At 1748, the convoy commander makes a critical decision. He orders the fuel tankers to increase separation. Normal spacing, 100 meters. New spacing, 300 meters. This stretches the convoy from 4 miles long to 9 miles long. The theory: if one tanker is hit and explodes, the others are far enough away to survive. The consequence: the convoy is now too spread out for effective defense concentration. What happens next changes everything. At 1750, the anti-aircraft systems begin engagement. Range, 1.5 miles. The lead drones enter the kill zone. The autocannons open fire. Tracers arc across the sky. First drone destroyed at 1.4 miles. Second at 1.3 miles. Third at 1.2 miles. The rate is good. 3 drones in 4 seconds, but 277 remain. At 1751, the missile systems engage. 4 launchers, 8 missiles each, 32 total. The missiles are fired in ripple mode. 4 missiles every 3 seconds. Targeting priority, densest drone concentrations. The missiles climb. Active seekers acquire targets. First salvo, 8 missiles, 7 hits. 1 miss due to electronic countermeasures. The drones have basic ECM, infrared flares, chaff. Not sophisticated, but enough to cause some missiles to miss. At 1752, 16 missiles are expended. 14 drones destroyed. The missile systems are 50% depleted. The autocannons continue firing. Rate of engagement: 40 drones per minute across 8 systems, 5 drones per minute per system. The math: 280 drones minus 14 from missiles equals 266 remaining. At 5 per minute per system, total kill rate is 40 per minute. Time to eliminate all drones, 6.65 minutes. But the drones arrive in 4 minutes. The math doesn't work. At 1753, the drones split into 3 groups. Group 1, 100 drones target the fuel tankers. Group 2, 80 drones target the ammunition carriers. Group 3, 100 drones target the armored vehicles themselves. Eliminate the defenses first. The coordination is perfect. AI-driven targeting. Each group attacks from different directions. The defenses must divide their fire. At 1754, the first group reaches attack range, 1 mile out. The autocannons engage at maximum rate. Barrels glow orange, cooling systems struggle. The kill rate increases. Close range improves accuracy. 60 drones destroyed in 90 seconds, but 40 penetrate. At 17:55, 40 drones strike the fuel tankers. Each drone selects a target, multiple drones per tanker. The shaped charges are designed for armor penetration. Against thin-skinned tankers, they're devastating. 12 tankers are hit. 10 explode immediately. The fireballs are massive. 2 tankers are damaged but don't detonate. Fuel spills onto the highway. The fires spread. At 17:56, the convoy is split. The burning tankers block the road. Vehicles behind cannot pass. Vehicles ahead continue moving. The convoy is now 2 separate elements. The ammunition carriers are in the rear section, trapped behind the fires. At 17:57, the second drone group attacks the ammunition carriers. 80 drones. The anti-aircraft systems in the rear are partially blocked by the fires. Smoke obscures targeting. Heat distortion affects sensors. The autocannons fire blind, radar-guided. But the drones fly low. Ground clutter interferes. At 17:58, 60 drones penetrate the defenses. They strike the ammunition carriers. The explosions are catastrophic. Artillery shells detonate. Secondary explosions chain through 5 trucks. Missiles cook off. The blast radius exceeds 200 meters. 3 armored vehicles are caught in the explosions, destroyed by the cargo they were protecting. At 17:59, the third drone group attacks the surviving armored vehicles. 100 drones against 9 remaining vehicles. The vehicles have depleted their missiles. Ammunition is low. The autocannons are overheating. Barrels are warped from sustained fire. At 18:00, the coordinated strike lands. 100 drones, 9 vehicles. Each vehicle takes multiple hits. The armor holds against some impacts, but concentrated strikes overwhelm. 7 vehicles are destroyed. 2 survive, but are damaged. At 18:01, the attack ends. The drones expended, 280 launched, 162 destroyed by defenses, 118 struck targets. The convoy assessment is brutal. 30 fuel tankers, 12 destroyed, 2 damaged, 16 intact. 25 ammunition carriers, 15 destroyed, 3 damaged, 7 intact. 15 parts transports, 4 destroyed by proximity to explosions, 11 intact. 10 medical vehicles, 2 destroyed, 8 intact. 12 armored vehicles, 10 destroyed, 2 damaged. 4 reconnaissance drones, all destroyed in the chaos. Necessary defense or catastrophic overreach. At 18:05, the convoy commander evaluates the situation. Cargo remaining, 53%. Security remaining, 17%. The convoy cannot continue. The road is blocked by burning wrecks. Enemy ground forces may be approaching. The forward bases need 100% of this supply. They're engaged in active operations. Without fuel, tanks stop. Without ammunition, artillery goes silent. Without parts, vehicles break down. At 18:10, the commander requests emergency extraction, helicopter support for personnel, ground reinforcements to secure the area, engineering units to clear the highway. But the nearest reinforcements are 4 hours away. The helicopters can evacuate personnel in 2 hours. That leaves the cargo, $24 million in surviving supplies, intact but inaccessible. At 18:15, enemy reconnaissance drones appear, small commercial models. They're assessing the damage, filming the destruction. The enemy will send ground forces. They'll capture or destroy the remaining cargo. At 18:20, the commander makes the final decision. Rig the surviving cargo for demolition. Destroy it before the enemy can capture it. Better to lose $24 million than let it fall into enemy hands. How many interceptors can one destroyer launch simultaneously? A. 24B, 96C, over 200. At 18:30, demolition charges are set. The surviving fuel tankers, the intact ammunition, the medical supplies, everything. At 18:45, the charges detonate. The remaining convoy is destroyed. Total loss, $45 million. Personnel casualties, 67 killed, 43 wounded. The forward bases receive nothing. At 19 Wire, the forward operating bases receive notification, no resupply arriving. Current supplies, 48 hours at current consumption rate. After that, operations cease. The tactical impact cascades. Artillery battalions conserve ammunition. Tanks reduce patrols to save fuel. Maintenance stops due to parts shortage. Combat effectiveness drops 60% within 24 hours. The enemy knows this. They attack the now weakened forward bases. If combat power decides wars, type combat power. The strategic analysis is devastating. The enemy spent $3 million on drones plus operational costs. Total investment, approximately $4 million. They destroyed $45 million in cargo, plus $38 million in vehicles. Total enemy gain, $83 million destroyed for $4 million spent. Return on investment, 2,075%. But the real cost is operational. The forward bases are forced to withdraw. Territory is lost. Tactical positions are abandoned. The strategic value exceeds the material cost. The answer to the quiz: destroyers can launch over 200 interceptors. But this scenario demonstrates that even with sophisticated air defense, logistics remains the most vulnerable link in modern warfare, which is why precision strikes on supply lines can paralyze forces far more expensive than the attacking weapons. What would you order next? The forward bases need immediate resupply. Options: aerial resupply by cargo aircraft, smaller convoys with heavier security, or withdrawal to defensible positions. Each option has critical flaws. Aerial resupply is expensive and limited capacity. Smaller convoys reduce target value, but increase trips and exposure. Withdrawal means abandoning strategic territory. The operational calculus is maintaining forward positions worth the logistics vulnerability. Subscribe to Combat Power, where raw force decides survival. Can modern militaries protect supply lines against precision drone strikes? Should logistics doctrine change to assume contested supply routes? Is the economics of asymmetric logistics attack undefeatable? When does protecting supply convoys require more resources than the supplies themselves?